Lemon! In the room, Elliot, Powell.
Hello there. Hello.
Leamington funny man.
Yeah.
Warwickshire funny man.
We'll go Warwickshire.
He's funny. He's funny enough, like.
Yeah, cheers, mate. That's a endorsement there, right?
Nah, he's funny. He's funny guy.
Cheers, mate.
He's a stand-up comedian and a stand-up guy.
It's the day before I went on my first lads' holiday. I went to a store and I bought 14 condoms. I was going for 7 days. I came back with 15 condoms and a verruca.
He's a sit-down man right now. He can use that one. He can use that one.
What?
Do love it, though.
Flat White Frank. Yeah, interjecting.
How's it going? You're right.
Making himself known.
Yeah.
Me.
My first name's not actually Flat White.
You're not going to give your government name, man.
No.
No, you're going to keep it.
Nah, my name's Andre. Okay. So my name's Ray. So Elliot and Ray.
Shooting from the hip.
Yeah.
I think you should just generally just keep walking around and completely own Flat White. I think it brings like...
Where does it come from?
Yeah.
What, Flat White or Andre?
I'm more interested in the story of Flat White Frank, I'll be honest.
Oh.
Yes, boys and girls, Flat White Frank. You know what I do? I down Flat Whites. I'm looking for the world's best Flat White. Anyway, I'm here today.
Well, where's
Andre come from? The first page of the name book, by the way. They didn't work very hard, did they? Maybe second with the end, but...
No, there's a nice story behind Andre.
Okay, we'll have that one then.
My granddad is Italian, and his name is Andreas.
Yeah.
Tradition in my family, the first son gets named after the dad's dad.
Aye.
I'm the first son. So I was named after my dad's dad, Andrea. But my mum's Irish, and she was kind of like, sure, you can't call him Andrea. Sure, here that's like, a girl's name. So they just got rid of the Andrea, so now I'm just Andre. Is that a good story? That's all right.
That is... Yeah, no, that's sick, man. That's 30 seconds of my life and I get back.
He's a comedian, apparently.
How are you, Ash? I'm good. Life doing well? How's the shop going? It's going. Okay, nice. That's what we call a comedic dead end.
So you've been doing gigs in Leamington. There was one the other night.
Yeah. I got like almost the end level boss of like awkward audience members. First things first, who's been to a live comedy night before?
Me.
And basically everyone stopped. No one had been to a comedy night. Completely untrained audience. They don't know what to expect. I was like, oh God, this is going to be a lot of work here. Like certain things, you'd be like, give us a cheer if you're excited for tonight. And you're meant to be able to pick out the people. If they go like that, hey, yes. You're like, right, they're in the night. I'm going to chat to you. Yeah. What you do? What's your name? Where'd you come from?
My name's George.
Like, she was the only one that was doing it. Everyone else was like, in Dumb and Dumber where they're like doing the salt shaker and everyone's like looking away. And this woman was just sat and everything I was saying, she was like in and just interrupting and just being like heckling, general nuisance. She's given me nothing to play with. And then the first act came on and he absolutely died. I was trying to leave the room warm for him and I was like, this is going to be tough.
Was he experienced this guy?
But no, so I've done everything. I've tried to be like, I'm doing different languages, doing everything to try and get some energy into the room and I'm just trying to like get everyone up for it and just be like...
He's like, hola, ¿cómo estás? Soy Elliot Powell.
Do you know when you're trying really hard? I was like, come on, give a cheer for this guy, all of that. No one was doing it. And I was like, right, let's get some jokes going. Let's jokes that you would do on a weekend for like paid gigs and stuff. They were just like, and I was like, oh God, good luck to the first act. So the first act came on and all of his material, it was just sex-based material, ejaculation on faces and stuff like that. Yeah, and it just went like this level, which is like a low level, and just down. And he said something like, this isn't going very well. And that woman, who's a self-appointed thing, just went, yeah, I can't wait for the break. Ooh. And I was like, oh, you're such a prick.
That'll make him stronger though in the future.
You
can't please everyone, because comedy, like, this is because I'm a human. I find things funny, like you do and you do. But like, I've got I don't even know what my sense of humour is, and I should probably I never watch comedy, but I do like laughing, so I probably should watch a bit. But I can't be asked, because I've got such a weird sense of humour, can't be asked to just look through everything. But you can't please everyone, can you?
No.
You're never going to please everyone.
No.
But maybe you are. Maybe, your people like Michael McIntyre or...
It's Stuart. This is Stuart. Come and meet the others. It's Stephen and Stephen.
Oh, if it isn't Jeff and Geoff, join the party!
On the whole, they're going to make the majority of people laugh. Why is that? Because everyone's got different senses of humour and you can't tap into everyone.
Well, the hardest thing is I think as you're coming through, the lesson is always try and be funny.
Chameleons try and be funny.
Always be funny. You've got to go in, you've got to build trust with the audience. They've got to, because they don't know who you are. So, like, you've got to be like, right, I'm not an absolute lunatic. And you should probably do 2 minutes of material to say, I'm not an absolute lunatic here. Right, we'll have a fun. Yep. And then if you're going to press on harder stuff,
think 9/11 was an inside job, or do you think it was the Jews?
Then be like, I've built trust with you, let's go.
It's beneath me, it's beneath you, and it's time now to move on into the punishing experimental stand-up that has kept me out of the arenas for 35 years now.
We used to work at a warehouse, a classical music CD warehouse. I bet you didn't know they existed. They do exist, because we used to work there. All the people there were lovely, but I was probably the youngest person there, and I saw him and I was like, oh, he's quite young. Then he told me he does his comedy, and I think I just gave a little throwaway comment like, I'll do an open mic one night. You said the amount of people who've said that to me and not done it, and I was like, shit, like, I've got to do it now. He takes us in his car to Dudley. We rock up to this pub, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I've never been anywhere like this in my life. None of the electrics were working at all.
Can I actually just paint the picture of this pub?
Yeah,
I really want to paint the picture.
Well, I was about to.
It's in Crayley Heath. Every stand-up has done a time where they've gone and done it.
I was working, so I thought I'd get some medical attention. Now, we've got one of them things, our doctors that test your strength. What do you call them? Fucking receptionists. Yeah. What?
It's called the Holly Bush, and it's run by a really, really great guy. But like everyone at some point when they first started in the Midlands has probably gone to this pub. It is on the corner. Basically, inside he doesn't pay for electricity. It's got like a log fire that's just next to it. And there was a guy that was just running on.
As well.
He was just running on and just putting logs on the fire in the middle of your set. And they don't have curtains. They just put bed sheets on. And then it's got like Christmas trees in the corner, but it will be like summer. It is just absolute chaos. Everyone's gone there. It's like everyone that's there like loves a bit of weed as well, so they'll like smoke weed. So the audience is stoned.
Yes.
And I told these two
people
Italian...
were crying in the audience.
So there was two.
I was like, what's happened here? One guy like hadn't had his tablets. Some guy hadn't had his tablets, so he started crying. So like someone had to go get his tablets. One guy had like his bollock hanging out. His fucking. He had like a little hole here, and there was a bollock coming out. It was the MC, wasn't it?
Probably.
Yeah, and he had his flat cap on. I think he had like a blue shirt on. And I just remember being like, okay, I don't know how this is gonna go.
It is like
one guy went on the
like
stage,
the asylum,
and he just stood up there and he went like this. He said, "Does anyone want to see my impression of a wind turbine?" And everyone went, "Yeah." He went like this.
That's not.
During this impression, the interface went unplugged. Oh well, I've put the phone audio on.
Because wind turbines, yes or no? Let us know in the comments below.
But this other geezer was like, I like it, it's alternative content.
I tried to make a joke. Like, because basically my sense of humour is pretty ridiculous. I'm not going to be like,
oh, bloody, the queue to get into the winning.
so do you know what I mean? Just something like that. It's very relatable, and I won't make a joke anyway because I'm a bloke.
Andrew Tate over it.
And basically, I was like, you know, when you go out to food and you find hair in the food, I basically tried to make a joke about that. The punchline was like, I was in Zzz's the other night, and there was a bloody Bunsen burner in my car. Alright, no one laughed. But on another day, in another location,
It's got legs. It's got too much legs.
my intro was, and I thought this would get laughs, and it didn't. I stood up on the stage and I was like, how's it going, everyone? Right, so, does anyone think I look like John Major?
I found it so funny because you like the worst is when you think something's gonna work.
Yeah.
It never works.
This is
Like,
my first
it just-
ever joke on stage doing stand-up in my life.
The jump can get you there. The jump's too big, you can't get there. But if it's just big enough, the audience laughs. If it's too close, you go, fuck, that's a dad joke. Because it's too obvious.
Oh, that's
So it's
my
all,
trouble.
it's all jumping.
Have you ever done any stand-up?
I did a set, an open mic. I was on a date with a girl, a woman, clarify, and she said I wasn't funny. And I went, well, I think I am, and I reckon I can prove it. And I'll go and do a stand-up bit. My opening joke was, and I've written these before because I found I like jokes, and I said, now, I don't know if my dog has gone deaf or if he hates me. And every time I call him, it goes straight through the voicemail.
Yeah.
Wait, I don't get it.
Yeah, you're as bad as my date.
Did you do like, did you carry up? Was it 5 minutes, 10 minutes?
Yeah. And I had a really good long-winded one about a Roman villa.
Yeah.
If you've got a minute.
Yeah, please.
I've been building a Roman villa, an ancient Roman villa recently in the most authentic manner possible. So I've been sourcing proper ceramic tiles. I've been mixing up my own ancient Roman concrete. I've even gone so far as to strip a rat on the end of a stick to clean my behind with. Problem is, in today's economic climate, I am really struggling to get hold of slaves.
And you did that on, like, off the cuff?
Yeah, I have written them before. I knew I had it in my pocket.
Oh, it's like fucking.
That was going to be
It's like Ron Burgundy on his day where he's like, oh man, I'm totally unprepared.
It was Jocelyn.
Do not relate to Ron.
Who's that?
Ron Burgundy. Anchorman.
I don't watch films. I've seen Monsters Inc.
Get out there, live a little. Yeah.
Monsters Inc.'s a good twist, isn't it? I always think about not how they started by instigating fear, and they ended up with selling laughs.
Yeah.
That was I wasn't looking into it. See, when I watched it, I was about 6. We still recorded.
Yeah, just while I was just checking the while I'm here. Quick impression of a solar panel.
Please.
This is
Elliot, you're setting up events now with Rolla?
Roller comedy, yeah.
Roller comedy.
Roller comedies. Or we used to always do gigs in like Warwick and Leamington and stuff. We had one that was over in Warwick and it was so good. Like, it was generally like the acts like loved it, the audience were like great. They'd all return.
It's a weird town, really, isn't it? Has anyone survived the changing of the bins in Warwick and Leamington?
Like rock and roll music when you come in, like people are all roller, like people are in, they're in for a good night. It's all about like community, almost like community comedy. And because of people that you kind of gig with across the way, you almost go, look, we're really lucky to have them here. Give them a massive welcome. And then the acts feel like they're part of the community. And for a night, they get to spend it with, you know, all the random people that are there. And they're the best comedy nights. Because sometimes you like do them and there'll be a transient crowd. And like Leamington, for instance, it's honestly exploded. The students, there's different people from different regions. And whereas if you get a space where it's a returning audience, they're all in on the jokes. So that's I'd hopefully like to kind of put that into set.
Well, comedy stuff's so good, isn't it? I should go to comedy.
Well, I just think
you just go and laugh, don't you? Also, I'm just looking in your Sharpie pot on yellow pencil.
Wait, let's fucking hell.
In fact, they're all Sharpies apart from one yellow pencil. Yeah.
But your comment about comedy. It is. Comedy's great, right?
You know what my sense of humor is like. If you know any comedians that you think I like,
I'll say something your favourite.
If they're American though, I won't find it funny.
So ones that got me into comedy and he still makes me like super laugh is Lee Evans. I literally think he's he's funny. I love the fact he makes every inanimate object have a personality.
What a terrible thing to have, isn't it? Attention deficit disorder. Why did they give it such a long name? You know, it's like dyslexia. They couldn't have made it a more difficult word to fucking spell, could they? Some bloke sat there one day and went, I put an X in there, fuck them.
On the other side, James Acaster, the friend in Stilts. He's great.
Oh, yeah.
You know me. You know this half of the equation already. All you need to know about her is that once she went to get her hair coloured at the hairdresser's, and for reference, so that she got the right colour that she wanted, she brought along a photo of a horse. So that's who we're dealing with. I'm head over heels.
He's from Kettering, isn't he?
Yeah.
And
then Josh Pugh, Josh Pugh is massive. He's opening up, or he's closing the first comedy night that we've got down there.
Wicked.
But he's killed it.
Is he just cleaning up at the end and locking it?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
either, because he's going to go to the same shit school in the Midlands that I went to. And politicians, they all go to the posh schools. I think that's okay. I think that's fine. I don't think you'd want anybody from my school. I think this is very progressive, but I think if you learn maths in a porter cabin, don't get involved in government. I don't know. If you learn about history by watching Blackadder on a wielding TV, stay out of it.
Sorry. That's someone who's works in hospitality, by the way.
Yeah, just give him a bit of respect, man.
Do you know what I think's funny? It's like, you know Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
He's a comedian.
Have you seen his most recent comedy? It was not good, was it?
Trans women are women. How about most? How about almost all? You gotta leave room for crazy.
Oh, I think that's people's biggest fear when they go out and do a comedy show.
Yeah.
Is the bombing.
Yeah.
How would you write that out?
Like, there's just literally no way of getting away from it. Shake hands with the devil and you've got to do it. When you're first doing it, you're just trying to get to the other side of it. Got so much adrenaline. You have to go and do the hard yards to kind of get there. I mean, the whole world's fucking changed now with, like, TikTokers getting on, like, the same gigs that you're on after, like, 6 years, and it'll be a TikToker that's doing, like, his 10th gig getting paid the same as you. But, dying-wise, I basically had done like one gig at this other venue in Birmingham. Like, there were 8 acts on. I was definitely in the top 7 because the 8th guy just stood with the plate on his head for fucking 10 minutes or something like that. He's doing the whole alternative comedy thing.
But on the line, just alternative.
Yeah. He's playing on awkwardness, which I kind of get. If you're watching it online, it's really funny. Like Trigger Happy TV, they used to do shit like that. They used to go to like poetry readings.
The first poem I've done in public is called 5 Million, and it's a poem about mathematics.
And they'd be like in the audience, then he'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16,
17, 18, 19, 20, 21.
You could see people in the audience like going, okay, where's it going? And then it'd clip off to like him, you know, doing something else. Hello! And then would go back and he'd be like
96, 97, 98, 99, 100.
102, 103. The laughter was waiting for the audience to clock on that he was just going to count to 1 million, and I thought that was like fucking phenomenal. That would be your huge. But dying, mate. I think I'd done like this one gig. My dad's mate used to host like a charity ball down in Cardiff. So basically, he was like, "Look, I'm looking for a comedian," and I was like, "I'm not a comedian, by the way. Like, I'd done one stand-up gig." After like weeks, I was like, "Do you know what? Fuck it. Like, I'll give it a go." Pushing through the barrier. So anyway, it's in South Wales. 800 people there. Alec was like black tied suit, and I sat there with my girlfriend and my family at the time. Well, not my family at the time, actually, to be fair, but that disowned me afterwards. But and then in the notes it's like Wales rugby captain as one of the speakers, the Welsh rugby team are there, Nigel Owens, the rugby referee, is there, and then it's like comedian Elliot Powell. I have literally got no material. I don't know how to write a joke at this point. But in the car, I thought of this amazing joke because I knew he was going to be there. So anyways, I get up. It was in the Rugby World Cup when Nigel Owens, he'd just come out as gay. And I remember there was a couple of tackles, one of the games where the rugby players were like diving around on the floor, and he walks over to him, he's like, "If you're going to dive around, come back here in 2 weeks and play football." Not on you know that one. It was at the same time, so I've walked up in front of 800 people and been like, "Nigel Owens, everyone, he's just come out as gay, can everyone give him a round of applause?" And everyone was like, giving him a round of applause. And I was like, "Nigel, it's great that you've come out as gay, and I've been watching the Rugby World Cup, and can I just say, why is it that you hate football so much? Is it because football is supposedly full of girls who are fannies?" Right. Mate, the whole room went, "Oh."
Yeah, but that's probably because like they'd feel awkward to that. Did he find it funny?
No, when my dad was on another table, he had his back to me and was just like head down. And then some geezer came up to me in the toilet and was like, "Oh, that's really brave." And I was like, thanks.
Did anyone come up to you and say like that's on the
No, mate, it was horrid because I stayed in the hotel that night.
It isn't homophobic because the joke is on football.
Yeah,
The joke's not about people, the joke's about football.
Football being full of fannies. Again, I hadn't built any trust. I just went straight for the gay guy. And then I hadn't, so yeah.
Well,
but
it
then,
depends, innit? It depends if how it made him feel and all this. So
but then I was having breakfast in the morning, and you know on Superbad when it's like, great, so I got to fucking eat breakfast like Stephen Glansberg, like, and he sat on his phone cell. I was Stephen Glansberg. But then this guy just came up at the end, who was an actor, and he just went, dude, don't worry about it, just keep going.
Do you want to do another stand-up?
Not really, no. I do it well if I need to prove a point.
Yeah, another day. Also, I've looked at this dartboard. Is that made of concrete?
Why?
Where are you up to?
I'm just checking. I have to check these every so often because they're on camera drop out and it really we need to be over if they either hit capacity.
I had that for one of my videos the other day. I'd done the whole review. My mate was like, I didn't have the mic on.
Yeah.
I had to go back in and get another coffee.
Good afternoon, ladies and girls, whatever you call it.
You just reviews.
So I started a social media channel called Flat White Frank. I started in November. I basically just go around and I'm looking for the world's best flat white.
Best flat white in the world. So I've come to a place called Pulp. Look at that for a building. Have you ever seen anything like that? You've seen the Shard before. You've seen Big Ben. Now you've seen that shed. And this is a coffee from Obadiah. They're a roastery based up in Edinburgh. It's a natural Colombian. We're meant to be getting taste notes of blood orange.
What's going on?
I'm quite into my coffee. I've worked in coffee. I just thought it was a little bit of a niche. So give it a go. I've been doing it 4 months and it's been fun.
Yeah, I will actually say it's really, I think it's like super cool. Like, clips are engaging. Andre knows his coffee.
I wouldn't say that.
Coffee.
I just drink it and say what I think.
What is the best one you've had around town, or have you not?
In Leamington?
Yeah.
In Leamington, there's... Look, before I go into this, coffee's coffee. If you like your coffee, you like your coffee. If you want to get all snobby about it like I have, that's up to you. If you go to Nero and you have a flat white and you like your flat white, you carry on there to Nero.
Okay.
Don't listen to me.
Disclosures.
Don't listen to me. I'm not here to shit on people. The best coffee in Leamington is either Lola Provisions.
Good coffee, actually. Really good.
A wine shop or Spa Town Coffee. One of the two.
Oh,
It's one of the two. You can also get a decent one in Warwick Street Kitchen. You can get a decent one at a place called like Daya. They have odd not kidney probably. They've got a good machine and good beans. They're the 4 best places in Leamington.
That's good to know. There you go, straight from Flat White Frank himself.
Yeah. I don't know. You asked me a question, I answered it.
Yeah, I wasn't having a go.
I know the feeling. I'm getting. White people are like, oh. No.
Yeah, I know. Your place is self-censoring, man. And yourselves, I know you do it.
It's just the world.
Because ultimately, when you were talking about Joe Rogan, I was like,
it's going to get me on one day. I'm not going to say whether it's good or bad.
You're not defaming any or else.
The thing is, if I want to be a guy who reviews flat whites, I've got to review flat whites. If someone's telling me around the best coffee, they've got the time. Otherwise, what's the point?
I can tell how serious he is as well. Like when he was doing that, he was like, yeah, his own machine was like, okay, actually, you know the coffee beans, there's like in a row, just completely changed. But yeah, what's the worst coffee you've had?
Well, since I started in Ireland, there is a fast food chain called Supermax. Yeah. Now, it's a bit like McDonald's, but it's only in Ireland because my mum's from Galway in Ireland, so we used to go twice a year when we were kids over, and she loved Supermax. You couldn't get it in Ireland, so like when we went over, it was like Supermax, yeah, and it was nice. But anyway, I was like, I'm in Ireland. Let's review the flat white Supermax. And I went in and I said, do you do flat whites? And they were like, no. I want, okay. Basically, what a flat white is, it's either Australia or New Zealand. That's where it's from. How are you guys? You're looking really fit. Yeah. My favourite number is number 10. What's my Kiwi accent? Anyway, a flat white in Australia is different to a flat white here. Yeah. But a flat white is a double shot of espresso in a 6 to 8 ounce cup, and the rest of it is filled up with milk, which is textured a bit, but not like big froth, like we'll say froth, not big texture like a cappuccino. Cappuccino's quite thick. Flat white and a latte is quite smooth. Okay. But a latte and flat white texture's the same. So I basically said, can you put a double shot of espresso in and then just fill it up but not all the way up? It was awful. It was so bad.
Latte art, it's very questionable.
It was so bad. It was the hottest thing. It's the only time I've done a review when I had to spit it out.
Slant you.
Like the sailor said, quote.
Wow. Really burned me mouth.
But to be honest, like, it was never gonna be.
And that's the thing.
It was just, I was like, I'll be quite funny.
You'll get loads of views, Supermax in Ireland, flat white review. It didn't get that many reviews, but
I think I gave it a 2.2 out of 10.
Oh, nice.
That's quite a long way to go to get a shit coffee. I never had caffeine growing up, never had it. And I remember their first job, like everyone drinking coffee, and there was a bit of the coffee movement going, and I was like, I'm gonna get into it. I'm gonna be an addict. I think I went Costa. I got 2 mockers in one day. Basically, thought I was gonna die. Had to drive home, and I was shaking, and my parents were like sweating.
Yeah,
incredible.
You can definitely overdo it.
It's a mocker though in Costa.
Yeah, my dad.
It's like someone overdosing on like Calpol.
No, because a mocha is a hot chocolate and a coffee together. You get all the sugar from the hot chocolate and then all the caffeine from the double shot of espresso.
Yeah.
You've got syrup in there as well. I don't know if you did.
Don't show us.
Would you put syrup in there?
I was putting shit. I was loaded.
That's a lot of stuff. You can never do it. Like when I do my film, so for example,
Do you have a trained doctor with you? Like in Jackass?
No, but
How good was Jackass?
Yeah.
I'm
sorry to it, but I have to wait to hear a safe routine.
Let's go do it.
They've just like started a new one. And I remember, did you do like, when you were a kid, did you like try and replicate Jackass and they're like homemade videos?
Oh yeah, we had a crew. We had some videos on.
Yeah,
there was some big stuff on there. There was a video of like a guy in a bin and everyone was beating him up with golf clubs.
Yeah.
You know, all the classics being thrown in steam nettles.
Yeah, we like used to do Jackass as well. I think the crescendo, we got a kid to run off my mum and dad's roof.
Nice.
Yeah. Got him through my mum and dad's bedroom, up onto the thing, and he was like, oh, I'm going to jump off this roof. And I'm there with this massive camera, like my dad's like fucking homemade camera. And he like ran and jumped off the roof, broke his ankle.
Onto the grass?
Just onto the grass in the back garden, just broke his ankle there and then. My dad was fucking fuming with me. And then my mum came out and was like, didn't say anything about the ankle bait, but it was like, you let him walk through our bedroom. And I was like, yeah, like, we were making some fucking top class content, man.
I remember me and my brother like used to do like wrestling on the trampoline. Because we'd also sometimes like...
Yeah, class.
I remember like doing an RKO on it once. And, like,
is that the kick in the nuts and the...
No, the RKO was Randy.
You can RKO me quickly if you want.
What is it?
Just quickly, not through the tape. Not through the table.
That's doing RKO.
So an RKO would be like, I'd grab his head like this and do a jump, he would bang on the canvas.
Oh shit.
I wasn't me.
Oh my god.
You alright? Are you actually alright? Keep an eye on that.
Trained athletes do not do that at home.
Me and my brother did that on the trampoline and my dad walked out. Get inside now! Like, because he thought we were fighting.
Oh, really?
And then we were banned. We got banned from the trampoline for the whole of the summer. And we used to just go outside and like look at it, and he'd be like, "No."
That's sad. That's actually quite sad.
But like, that was because he was like, "You're not fighting."
How
We
old?
got banned.
Till 23.
And no wonder they used to say no. No wonder they used to say don't try it at home.
Yeah.
Like the amount of times I got my brother in Chris Benoit like cripplet cross space, and you're like pulling his head back. But like my mum would come in, she'd be like, "What are you doing?" And I'd be like, Ben would be like, have his face like. The worst one that he used to do as kids, actually kind of gross as well. Remember the Rikishi butt swipe?
It's not a weird guy, but not that weird.
You're keeping
Not
it.
that kind of weird.
So you got your safety measures in place for the flat rider accused?
Yeah,
No, none of that.
I'll eat a flat white, but not the mate's ass.
You did a bit of podcasting before then as well. Let's get a bit more detail on that.
We would invite people onto the podcast that were doing different bits, or maybe did podcasts themselves, or just general creatives in and around Leamington. Yeah, we met some really cool, interesting people. There was the guy, Tom Cho, does like the Fozcast. There was artist Gemma Grau, which was great. Poppy Valentine. Myself and Luke were a bit like, we've kind of still got jobs, and like these people are there doing them creative jobs like full time. And like, does it kind of take to get there? And then just being like, oh, okay, cool. So where are we in our realm, as it were? And then Luke's gone on the back of it. I think he just went, actually, you just got to fucking do it. And so then he's just started up his own studio, does all of like videos and stuff like that.
I was just like, what have we done?
The people who do more than you will never have time to comment on stuff. The people who are doing less just fucking sit there and just fucking turn themselves. Like
absolute Andre wisdom.
So no, but it's so. Oh, there's boobs. I'm triggered. I was driving my girlfriend to Coventry train station, and she's Canadian, and she's like, "Oh, okay, what's Coventry famous for?" And I was like, "Well, it's got a cathedral that got mounted in the wall." And then the second thing, I was like, "The Enemy as well. Get The Enemy on. You'll know the tunes." And they just take me back to the AC and just absolutely fuck. Yeah, that was going out. You'd always be doing it in Leamington where you'd be pre-drinking. I don't know whether you did this, but you'd go out on a Tuesday night, smack, make you go to Moon Bar, and then you'd get queue jumps for the queue. Then you'd all go back to our house to like preload. Then you'd basically get the queue jump to get into the club. Effectively be paid like £9 or £10 to get in, but it was like everything that you wanted.
Impressive club town, isn't it?
It was incredible. Where was your first place that you went out to in Leamington?
Mumbai Blues, towards what I was in.
Mumbai Blue.
Where's that?
That is Mumbai Blue.
Loose Box, aka.
Loose Box.
That's the street.
There you go. My first ever night out was Rio's.
Is Rio's where Neon is?
No, where House is next to it, but it's not there anymore because I think they've like knocked it down and put flats in there. Me at 15 literally looks like a 4-year-old girl. I was obsessed with going out. Like all I wanted to do was just go out. We'd been to this party and then I was like proper ballsy. And I like walked up to the bouncer and he just like no idea. And he was just like, no. And I was like, see you later. And then just I walked up. I climbed over the wall, went down the back alley, climbed over the wall. I was up there as a 15-year-old. Then from the window to the wall, that was us. I actually genuinely took my top off. As a 15-year-old, was swinging it around on the dance floor. I couldn't have looked any more like an in-betweener because then I wasn't able to get in anywhere. And I was like, I had this idea that I was going to get dog tags and put on like a date of birth and like show the bouncer. He was going to be like, oh fuck, is this thing that work? I think that it's going to work and they're going to do it. In reality, people just go, no. I knew the bouncer through a reason, and he would just always be like, mate, I know who you are, I don't know how old you are, just go away. But then I got my older mate's passport, clipped passport by the way, but I then became 21. But then it was like biggest night of the year, like it was like Halloween, like everyone was going out, and I was just like, I've got to do it. So I got to like the front and then gave him it, and he's looking at me as if like, what's your name? And I was like, Michael Ellis. He was like, what's your date of birth? And I was like, said his date of birth. And he was like, what's your star sign? I was like, don't know. Obviously. And then he was like, not tonight. My mate just walked in because he was 18 and he was like, you coming in or not? And they was going to leave me on the side. Everyone's going in. I could see all the girls that fancied like going in and everything. And I just stopped in front of him and I was like, please, let me in, please. And he was like, have a good night, go on. And I literally put me in and I'm like, and then walked in, that first strip, oh mate, I was like, I'm here baby. And everyone, he's like taking pictures with the swear words on the floor like.
Now, how if you want to start off in comedy around it, where'd you go? Where did you actually...
Not much in terms, so you got to start as an open mic. So you got to go open mic, just give it a go. So usually these will be in like Birmingham. There might be some in Coventry. You go and try and find like an open mic, comedy open mic page on Facebook or whatever. Google it. They'll kind of accept you into some groups. They'll be like, oh, we've got anyone want to come to comedy? We've got a night on, and you message the guy and just say, look, can I come and do 10 minutes? And then, yeah, so there's literally nothing around here because open mic's like hard, man. Just to get people in and for them to regularly go because it's full of people that are just first starting. In London, they'll do like 5-minute bringers. You have to bring an audience member with you. Yeah, so like kind of like so that you actually have an audience because there's nothing worse than if you do a gig and there's only 10 comics sat there. So they're nervous. Whereas an audience is there to laugh and they're there to do that. So yeah, just like...
Or you can upload on TikTok and skip the bypass.
And you can bypass basically all of that shit.
Play the system, guys. Play the system.
And then find your niche. If you can do like social media at the same time, people are catapulted. I don't particularly love the idea of doing like sketches, done a couple and they got the good views, but like I'll record certain bits. You have to have videos to send to promoters to basically be like, look, I'm not fucking terrible. Then you're fanning around with the camera. You kind of, and I've done it before, and I'm like playing to the camera as opposed to the audience, and then I'll be like, I got you moment with the audience. But that's not really what it's for. I should be here to entertain these guys.
Changes the dynamic.
Yeah, so like the random one I put, like the dog, that was just generally just part of the gig. Your shit, you're awful. It was the daughter's 8th birthday. See, it's 5 feet nowadays, so I've never had a gig where a dog just leaves, hopefully. Oh, mate. But it was completely unintentional. Whereas I know some people will intentionally make the audience trying to bite to then get like the comedian gets heckled by the crowd. You haven't seen the fucking 3 minutes before where he's pushing them and pushing them. He's then got his material and he's like, yes. Do I really want to be spending my time doing that, or would I rather spend my time? I generally would like spend my time like an hour in the car, going to meet in a room of random people, trying to make them laugh, and then driving an hour, 2 hours home. Like that, I actually enjoy that. I like the gigging, but that's the reality of what it is.
What's the most you've ever earned through a gig?
Too much, mate.
I know from knowing you that there was a point you were working to fund your comedy because you wanted to.
Yeah.
So basically, like, do you still now think I want to become big?
It's weird because I don't really want to be famous. I really love going into a random room with like people in a random town and being funny, and then just leaving, and then that's it. Made like 100 people like laugh for the night, and then you just go back to normal life. Quite like the mystery of it and like the purity of it.
What's your best joke, do you reckon?
Best joke, if I've got it on the dime,
it's a lot.
I don't know if I can do it. Yeah, no, it's on there. But I'd be like, no, but generally,
stand-up comedian was going to sit.
My best joke was got signed. Like, I got signed before I just left my manager. They were like promising me the world. He literally rang me up one day and was like, "El, I've got a gig for you, mate." All right, where are we going? He was like, "Can you actually get down to Warwick Hospital at 2:30? We're going to be walking around the old patient ward, telling them jokes, keeping their spirits high, and keeping them engaged." And I was like, "Oh, that's great. Is it paid?" He was like, "No, it's volunteering." It's like, good. My joke is like, there's two ways that you could look at life, isn't there? You know, a positive and a negative. The positive side, I'm walking around the hospital and telling jokes to the inpatient, keeping the spirits up, like Robin Williams, like Patch Adams, that film in the 90s. Or the negative side, I'm only a yellow tracksuit and a cigar away.
Oh shit, yeah.
But that joke means different things to different people, right? Because you've laughed at it and you think Jimmy Savile, right? And I haven't said it.
No,
you said that. Because I asked the girl in Leicester that, and I was like, "Are you laughing at Jimmy Savile?" She was like, "No, I thought you meant Ali G."
Yeah, I was thinking that you were going to say that then.
Yeah, I didn't realise the geographical locations. So like, I've been somewhere like by Aylesbury, which is like Stoke Mandeville, which is the hospital.
Yeah, that's fair.
And and I've made that joke, and they've all gone, "Oh," and I'm like, but anyway, that joke means different things to different people. There was a girl in Leicester, it's you dirty bastards.
Did that actually happen though, that Warwick Hospital thing?
I actually went to a hospital.
And do you ever make up the stories? Do you ever make up stories for jokes?
Yeah, like the Nigel Owen story. I didn't really. They're like embellished truths. Don't let the truth get in the way of a good story. So,
have you heard all about the butter?
Any?
You heard the joke about the butter?
No, go on.
I bet I'll tell you might spread it around.
Oh my God.
What about the one about the fence?
Come on then.
I want to tell you, you won't get over it.
Right.
Do you want a good one? Do you actually want a good one?
Yep.
Okay, there's a man who's got a dog. And his dog can talk, and one day he's taking it around the park. And he's like, "I could probably make some money out of it. My dog can actually speak." So anyway, he just sort of sat on a bench and another man sits next to him. And he goes, "Excuse me, mate, do you know my dog can talk?" And the other man goes, "Don't be count, dogs can talk." And he's like, I promise you, bet you £100 now, I can show you that my dog talks." And he goes, "Sam." So shake hands, and he goes, "Right, Rover. And what is the opposite of smooth? And he goes, rough. And he goes, he says, rough. And he goes, no, this isn't it. Keeps going. And he said rough. And the man goes, he's barking, he's taking the piss, come on, man. He goes, okay, I'll get him to say something else. And he goes, Rolla, what do you find on the side of a tree? And he goes, back. And he said, back. And the man goes, mate, you're literally taking the piss out of me, your dog is barking, he's not talking. And he goes, right, I'll give you one more chance. I'm ready. And he goes, fine, hurry up, I need to go. And the man goes, right, Rolla, what do you find on top of a house? And he goes, roof. And he said roof. And the man goes, fuck's sake, mate, you're fucking taking the piss. So he snatches £100 off him and walks up. And the man just sat there and he goes, what has just happened? And then his dog looks up at him and goes, oh, I should have said chimney.
The dog can actually speak.
Yeah. It's good, isn't it?
Yeah. The dog can speak. How do you make, I'll do another dog joke for you. How do you make a dog into man's best friend?
Wow.
Wank him off.
That's balls, fuck it up.
Now that's true.